This is the AI camera and it can be used to solve a math problem, translate a language, find out the weather, appreciate myself, or summarize any image in general. So for a long time I was thinking of making something out of the ESP32 cam board, and finally I got this idea to make the AI vision camera that can summarize the captured image. And why just summarize when we can analyze the image and perform certain operations on it? So I made this AI camera that have three buttons, and all of these buttons can be configured to different prompts that we can perform on the captured image. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I make it and how you can make it too. To make this project, I am using ESP32 cam board because it provides camera module for capturing images along with Wi-Fi support. To display the text, I am using SH1106 OLED display. Along with that, I am using a buzzer for audio feedback and some push buttons to capture the image and run the AI prompt on it. And to power this project, currently I will be using a USB cable, but if you want to make it more mobile, you can add a battery. The connections for the project will be fairly simple. For connecting the OLED display, we will connect SCL and SDA to pin 15 and pin 14 of our ESP32 cam board. And the VCC and ground will go to 3.3 volt and ground pin respectively. For the buzzer, positive terminal of the buzzer will go to pin 2 and ground to ground pin. For the push buttons, we will have a 10k resistor connected to each one of them and then connect them to pin 1, pin 3 and pin 13 of the ESP32 cam board. To analyze the image and prompt it, we need some AI API that supports prompting with image. So I will be using OpenAI's Chat Completions API for that. Now let me explain how our project will work from a top level. So each one of the push buttons have certain prompt associated with them, and you can change it based on your need if you want to. Now when we press any of the button, we will capture an image through the camera connected to our ESP32 cam board and then convert it to a base64 string format, and then call the OpenAI API with the image's base64 string and the associated prompt to that particular button, and then display the output on our OLED display. So to use the ESP32 cam board, I am using this ESP32 cam mounting board, and I have soldered this puff board and these pins in it, and they are connected in parallel so that I can use these pins as well. So when mounting, we can mount it like this, and now we can access the pins as well from the sides. Coming to the coding part, first we have included some libraries from which we will be using some functions in our code. Then we have variables defined for our Wi-Fi name and password and OpenAI API key. After that, we have some variables defined for OLED display. Then we have initialized a display client for OLED display. After that, we have some variables defined for our ESP32 cam board. Then we have some variables for our buttons and the buzzer. Then we have some utilities functions. First one is the show text function, which we are using to display the text on the OLED display by considering the height and width and the font size. Second one is play sound function, which is used for playing the beep sound on the buzzer. Now let's see the setup part. For setup, we have wrapped everything inside initialize system function. In this function, first we start connecting Wi-Fi and then define pins for our buttons and the buzzer. We also start showing the startup text on the display in the meantime. Then we check if Wi-Fi is connected and block the flow until it is connected. Then we initialize the camera using the initialize camera function. This function mostly includes the configuring and initialization of the camera. Now let's see the loop part. I have wrapped all the code for loop inside handle buttons function. In this function, we are checking if any of the button is pressed, and on press of the button, we call the process image function with arguments including prompt to perform on the image and the text to show on the OLED display. Inside the process image function, we first capture the image and then convert it to base64 format. If there is some error in the converted image, we just show the error. Then we call the analyze with AI function, where we first format the payload in a required format and then call the make API request function, where we hit the OpenAI's chat completions API and store the response in the result variable and then display the result on the OLED display. Now the length of our response is bigger than what our OLED display can occupy. So for that we have added an auto scroll effect with a delay of 2 seconds. When the whole response text is scrolled, we return to our initial screen from which same process repeats. So after uploading the code, we have to disconnect this ground pin from the board because this pin is used to load the board in the boot mode. So I have just bent it so that it don't get connected when I mount the ESP32 CAM board in the mounting mode. So this was our AI camera, and while implementing it, you can add more complexity to it by adding more buttons or maybe adding a microphone to take in the prompt. And second thing is you can add a speaker. So in addition to the output displaying on the screen, we can also have a voice that is reading out the text. So that's about it. I hope you liked the project. If you liked it, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next one.